Are you on the hunt for the perfect everyday carry knife? If so, you're in the right spot. Welcome to Daily Knife, where we test knives to their fullest extent. That way you don't have to. Check out dailyknife.com for more, but today we're going to be looking at the CountyComm Ready for Action, and we're going to put it through the ECURT test. We'll see how well it does. ECURT stands for Everyday Carryability, Culinary, Utilitarian, Ruggability, and of course that torture test. I cringe every time I even say it out loud. Yes, we're going to drop a brick on this. We're going to see if this thing can cut through bolts and all sorts of rigorous tasks. So come along the journey with us. We'll see how well the Ready for Action does. Before we get rolling too far, this is sponsored by CountyComm. CountyComm, if you were looking to upgrade your EDC or your EDC gear, check them out here and use code CDC10 at checkout. Get yourself a little discount, of course. So this is brand new. I've yet to do anything with it. I wanted to kind of wait out and see how well it does in hand. This thing is a beefy, big, bad boy. This thing demands to be used. And I'd like to cut something really quick with this thing, but I want to talk about a few things here. So we're going to talk about the everyday carryability. This thing, now I think is a little heavy, but when it comes down to it, it's got a nice sheath. This is a Kydex sheath with a nice belt clip. You can put that, on your belt or maybe a backpack, a strap or anything like that. It's got lots of different ways to maneuver it. So maybe you even want to take that completely off and use like a Alti clip, or maybe just leave it off completely and you just want to put this in like a drop pouch or something like that. So everyday carryability with the weight on there. The weight itself, yes, it's heavy. So I got to give it kind of a lower score because, well, it is heavy. It's not going to be very easy to carry, but with the nice clip, the nice sheath, that's going to give us some added points. So for weight, I'm going to have to go ahead and give that a 5. It's not like super heavy. It's not going to like weigh you down, but at the end of the day, if you're going to carry that on your hip every single day, it might be a little cumbersome, but it depends what you're doing. So of course, that score doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means, it's a little heavy. Now, size comes up to dimensions. I've talked about this in the past, something easy to put in the pocket. This is going to be pretty hard to put in the pocket, but at the end of the day, it's not a sword. You're not wheeling a giant sword in your back, so as you're going to say, for size wise, once again, it's going to have to give it a 6. Pretty good, easy to carry for size wise, but it is pretty large. So I think, size wise, it's going to be a little cumbersome once again, kind of like the weight itself. Hard to actually carry, but like I said, once again, depends what you're going to do all day. And ease of use, well, boom, that easy. Boom. Actually, that Kydex sheath is actually something to talk about. It has got a good detent. It pops out perfectly. I wouldn't expect it to be any harder or any easier. Like, that is like perfect. It's got a good enough detent where you can pop it off like that. That's really good. So ease of use, gosh, got to go ahead and give that an 8, 8.5 because super easy. Pull it out. The grip on there, so as size-wise, 8.5 for sure. Super easy to use. Let's talk about the materials. We got D2 blade steel. We've got carbon fiber handles, so that's going to give some weight reduction. And of course, with that D2 steel. D2 used to be kind of like one of my favorite, I'm going to call it budget steels. But you look how thick that is. That is a lot of D2 blade steel. Full tang, of course. So I think D2 is going to go pretty well. The carbon fiber, that's pretty important. And then these studs, I believe they are titanium. Let me just check really quick here. Like I said, I have yet to use this, so let me just verify really quick. Yes, 3 titanium bolts. So those screws, bolts, however you want to call them, are titanium. That's going to up itself, as far as weight reduction. So the materials on this, I've got to go ahead and give that a 7 because D2 isn't bad. I like D2. I think it does very well. Carbon fiber, obviously really good. Titanium, I'm going to have to say that's pretty well. Now let's talk about the price. $89 for a big, beefy fixed blade. I think that's a good price, but we're going to have to come back and find out at the end of the video how well that did. So $89, definitely a decent price for what you're getting, and we'll find out towards the end. I'm going to have to say that's an 8 just because $89 for something this big, this robust, this well off, I'm going to say that's a pretty good score. We'll have to come back and find out how well that price really does pay off. if you know what I'm saying. No pun intended. We'll go ahead and average all those scores together and find out what that comes out to. Let's go ahead and make a sandwich with this. See you upstairs. All right, so category 2 is the culinary use of the knife. How well does it cut through some meat, a tomato, and just other odds and ends? You know, building a sandwich is what we're gonna do today here. So starting off with the meat here. Let's go ahead and see how well it cuts through here. Oh man, she's chunky. Sharp though, wow. Yikes, whoops. Oh man, what kind of meat is that? Smells really good. Old-fashioned summer sausage. Yum, that smells amazing. And I know what kind of treat I'm having tonight here. All right, so first slice went really well. I'm gonna do some just regular size slices. I do see it is a little bit thick around the edge, so going through there is a little bit difficult. Not too bad though. I'm not gonna lie though, it's having a little bit of trouble, only because, well, it's just so thick. And the sharpness is there. No. Am I having a problem? No. Is it going to cause a problem down the road? No. But you know, I would say giving a score 1 out of 10, I'm going to go ahead and give that a 7. It did well, but a little bit thick going down there. All right, let's go ahead and see how well it cuts a tomato here. Being how thick it is, it might be a little bit troublesome, but we'll try. Oh wow, actually cutting really well. Okay, that's cutting way better than I could have expected. Nice big long blade makes a huge difference. Oh my gosh, look how well that's cutting. Okay, so the tomatoes, check that out. This is a good blade. Wow. Love how long the blade is. I have got to give the tomato cutting for that a really good score. Honestly, it is doing a phenomenal. Nice long blade. You'd think be like how thick it is, it'd be a problem, but not a problem at all. Wow. So the tomato cutting, absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 9. It did phenomenal. Way better than I could have ever expected, but it helps because that blade is nice and long. Let's go ahead and cut some cheese here. No, not that kind of cheese. We got some pepper jack cheese. Oh yeah, doing really good on the cheese there. I would say phenomenal. It's not sticking too hard to the blade either. Phenomenal job on the cutting of the cheese. Go ahead and give that a decent score as well. Give that an 8, did phenomenal. All right, we got a little fancy bread here. Let's go ahead and see how well that cuts here. Nice long blade's gonna help. Man, that bread smells so good. Ooh. You know, the cutability isn't as good as some other ones, but that nice long blade definitely makes up. And this bread is definitely softer than some of the other breads, so that's gonna make a huge difference, but absolutely. If I had this knife and this was the knife that I was stuck with, I would not be mad at all. Giving the score of the cutting the bread, I'm gonna go ahead and give that an 8.5. It did phenomenal. It did really, really good. You know, this is really, really soft bread, so you can see how well that cut in. Man, you guys can smell it. It smells so good. All right, let's go ahead and chop through some celery here. We don't want that stuff, that's garbage. Okay, this is working phenomenal. Nice long blade. This is doing great. I'm gonna go ahead and give the score 1 out of 10. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Actually, no, I lied. I'm gonna give it a 9. It did phenomenal. It did really good. A 9 is great. That's a great score. Let's go ahead and compile all those scores together and see how well that did in the ECURT test for the culinary. All right, we're gonna move over to category 3, which is utilitarian use of the knife. You know, everyday tasks, you know, maybe you're outside, a few things here. Go ahead and look at the table. All right, so we got some wire, we got some hose, we got my scraping tool, we got some leather and some cardboard. All right, we're gonna strip some wire here. And why would you need to use your knife for a wire stripper? Well, you know, a few things. You could be in the house, maybe you're just gonna quickly wire a speaker, or maybe you're in the pickup truck. You got an old pickup truck and a speaker has a problem. Well, you use your knife to strip some wire. All right, that did pretty well. Let's go ahead and see how it does on the small stuff. This is a big chunky knife, so it's a little hard to strip, but It's doing all right. All right, the red did well. Go ahead and grab another one here, just for good measurement, I should say. Let's take a look here. Okay, it was doing pretty good. That D2 blade steel, a big blade, got lots of room to, yeah. I would say stripping wire with that bad boy, absolutely, did great. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7 because there's better tools for that. But if I had this, absolutely, did great. Moving on over to the rubber hose. Rubber hose is honestly always kind of the funnest one because this is really gonna do the true testament. Let's go ahead and do kind of that front of the blade. This is doing absolutely good, actually. Oh my gosh, oh wow, okay. Let's do kind of more of the belly of the blade. That jimping really feels like it's working well on the thumb. If I had some gloves on and it was cold out, this would be an absolute beast. This is doing great. If I was out in the garden and using this, yes, this would be great. I'm gonna give it one more good measurements. Absolutely. The hose, no match to the knife. Give that an 8.5, it did great. Move over to scraping. Let's take a look here how well this does. A big chunky blade, drop point so you know it's kind of can smoothly get around. Yeah, that does pretty good. Yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and do one more sticker for good measurements. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 7 already. Doing a great job. It's getting the sticker off. Doing a good job scraping it on here. And I put these stickers on earlier in the day, so they've been on there for quite some time. You know, that way they kind of seat in there. That did pretty good. Let's go ahead and do some leather cutting. See how well that does. Oh yeah, not a problem. No problem at all. Fold it up a few times. Go ahead and cut that. Yeah, no problems whatsoever. One more cut for good measure. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this thing is a beast. This thing is sharper than ever too. Go ahead and give that a good score. Give that an 8, did phenomenal. All right, a good everyday task, cutting cardboard. See how well it does cutting cardboard. All right, a little thick on the back there, but that's not so bad. Oh my gosh, oh, okay. Like butter. I enjoy cutting with this. I enjoy cutting with this a lot. What I'm checking here is, does it get caught in that choil? I run into that a lot, and I'm noticing with a lot of knives I'm having that problem, and a little bit, but it's a smaller choil, which is good. You want to have a sharpening choil, but I'm not having any problems with it, which is good. You can use that full blade. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. All right, so cardboard is no match either to, to the knife. I'm gonna have to go ahead and give that an 8.5. It did phenomenal. As you can see, we have stepped it up now. We are going to category 4, which is the rugged use. As we move along with these tests, we're getting to more aggressive things. So starting out, we're going to do a little bit of tip prying. So we're gonna pry some of these staples up here. Some of them are double, some of them are triple, you know, just kind of a few different tests here. So we'll kind of see how well this can get in there. All right, struggling just a little bit here. I do know that this is a double, and the knife is doing good. All right, there we go, it came out. All right, here is a single one. That was a double. Here's a single one. Okay, yeah, it's doing great. And is it hurting the blade? Now that D2 is thickened up, it's doing a great job. All right, here's another double one. It's not super pointy, so I don't foresee this being a problem as far as snapping or anything like that. Okay, I think this is a triple. I think the biggest issue we run into is it's thick, so it's harder to get in there. As far as aggressiveness, the blade ain't hurting at all. What is that? 1, 2, 3 of them. Uh-oh. All right. little bit of trouble getting them out here. But the knife taking care of it, as far as getting the job done, it got half of it out. The knife ain't hurting anything. The tip ain't coming out. Is this a 4? I got that out. Okay, there's 3, 4. Only issue we ran into is those. The way I was using it had a little bit of trouble, but got the rest of them out here. Any damage on the blade there? No, not that I can see here. Looks pretty darn good if you ask me. So tip prying didn't hurt the knife at all. It did the job. I'm gonna go ahead and give that an 8. I mean, it did a good job. I struggled a little bit right here, but as far as the knife, did good. All right, let's go ahead and see how well this knife can feather stick. All right, little bit of trouble, but not too bad as far as getting in there. The way it is sharpened, you can tell that, you know, it doesn't want to bite in there really well, but that's not a bad thing. You know, as far as getting some good little small kindling, put those together to make a fire, that's doing good. But the let's see if we can actually make it feather though. Yeah, kinda. Like I said, I'm no pro at this. Someday I'd like to be trained on how to really do that really well. Like I said, as far as me camping, and if I was to be stuck in the woods, I think I'd get by, but I'm no professional bushcrafter. But yeah, I think that's actually doing extremely good. But it's not wanting to bite really deep in there, but as far as getting some good kindling, definitely good there. But you can tell the way it's sharpened. It's not a bad thing at all. But you know, as far as feather sticking, yeah, it did pretty good. I definitely could use that for a fire. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Did pretty decent. All right, let's go ahead and cut some rope here. See how well it can cut here. Okay, not doing too bad. A little bit of work though. Okay, all right. It cut through it. Oh, man, that was a little bit of work. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 7, but it did all right. I take it back. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. It was a lot of work, but it did good. It did good. Let's go ahead and cut some zip ties. Take a look how well it does there. And, okay, did good. Now, let's go ahead and check out my contraption here. See how well it can cut through these zip ties. Good there. Check the belly. All right, fine and dandy, and okay, got one zip tie. Okay, so putting through the zip ties, I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 7. It struggled a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and do the infamous coat hanger. All right, get a good spot here. 3, 2, 1. All right, cut through there pretty good. And how'd the blades do? A tiny little bit there, but the blade barely, you can't even tell. Tiniest little bit right there, but that's only on one side. All right, so the blade definitely fared extremely well against the coat hanger. I don't know, how did you guys count it? How many hits did I make on that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Was it 3 or 4? I don't know, it did pretty good. I'm gonna say that did really good. It didn't hurt the blade at all. Tiniest little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that an 8.5. It did darn good. All right, here we go. Time for the torture test. Got my goggles, got my gloves. Let's go ahead and see what this bad boy can do. I think it's gonna do well, but we'll find out together. All right, let's go ahead and start out with the screwdriver ring. See how well it does pulling out some screws. All right, so in here I have 3 screws. Let's go ahead and see how well this pulls these out. Hopefully it doesn't break the tip. It's a little hard, but not too hard. Okay. Have a little bit of difficulty. Let's just take a look here. And okay, we're not really hurting the blade too bad. All right, there we go. It's doing pretty good. There we go. The problem is it's got a little bit of a belly at the tip, so it's kind of giving a little bit of difficulty. Of course, different screws would make a difference, but not doing too bad. There we go. Yeah. Not too bad at all. Let's go ahead and check another one here. All right, gets it loose, gets it out. This one's a little bit further in there. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. All right, so those were in there a lot deeper. Let's go ahead and see if we can push her back in. Works great as a little hammer there, that's for sure. Get my hand out of the way, don't want to slip. Yeah. Doing pretty good. Yeah, I would say definitely did pretty good pushing that screw in there. All right, I've been excited to finally baton through a nice chunk of wood. What's nice about a fixed blade is this is a blade that I think is made for this. I will find out, but you don't have to worry about a lock breaking. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that felt good. Finally got to use a nice big bladed knife, cut through some wood, batoned really well. Want to take a look at that blade? I would say it did absolutely outstanding. The batoning did great, nice and thick behind there, so it was able to split that wood apart. Absolutely great. Go ahead and give that a good score, because I felt like that was great. Go ahead and give that a 9.5 because it was phenomenal. If I'm out in the woods, bushcraft, or camping, or need something, this, outside of an axe, phenomenal. Let's go ahead and see if we can cut through that bolt here. Done this a few times. I don't have a whole lot of faith in D2 steel, but hey, let's go ahead and give it a try here. 3, 2, 1. All right, we did not cut through the bolt, but we did chip the blade. Darn it. Ah, dang it. Well, it did break it, but that's D2 steel. And that actually did really well, to be honest with you. Tiniest little bit of chipping. Right, so it did not cut through the bolt. It did break it, but hey, what did you expect? That was pretty phenomenal though. It did a good job. Go ahead and give it a 0.5 for trying. I mean, I've seen other blades break a lot worse than that. That's not too shabby. It is like 4 degrees out. It is cold. Ground's still gonna be frozen, but I'm still gonna try this out here, see how well this can dig. This is actually digging really good. Oh yeah. This definitely is a good digging knife. It's big, it's chunky. Definitely if you're needing to dig a hole and you had a knife, this would be the one to go with. And look how like frozen the ground is. I don't know if you can see that, but it is frozen. And that's doing a great job. So score on the digging of the knife. Well, so score 1 out of 10 digging of the knife. I'm gonna go ahead and give that an 8 because this thing is just, it's made to be worked on. This is a good heavy duty work knife. It's 4 degrees out, so let's see how this does. Put the knife right there. Get the balance. Ah, darn it. Yeah, I guess we'll use the sheath up against the knife to see if we can get the balance. All right, let's go. Whew, cringe every single time. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, well, a little bit of issues there. The blade, the metal, all seems fine, but the carbon fiber definitely didn't handle. Okay, well, definitely broke the brick. That's where the knife was. Let's go ahead and do round 2. Whew. Colder than ever outside. Well, let's do round 2. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I think I kind of missed the knife there. Just broke the brick. Let's do that again. I think I missed. 3, 2, 1. 1. All right, well, kind of broke a lot of the carbon fiber of the handle. Man, it is so cold out here, sorry. Well, the handle kind of got mangled up and messed up, but I don't know. The actual knife though, that D2 really did good. Well, the knife definitely went through some work, and gosh, to give it a true testimony on how well it did with the brick, this thing did great. I mean, yeah, the handle broke, but okay, so you take that off and wrap it around some paracord or go get some more. You know, no big deal. The knife did better against the brick than it did against the bolt. That's saying a lot. This thing is still a workhorse. This thing can still be used. If I was to carry this every day, I'd have to be a hard-working person because this is what that knife is made for. So giving it a test for the brick drop, I'm gonna have to say honestly, it fared. I beat it up against the back of the spine to see how well it would do against that. It broke, yeah, but it's still a working knife. It's big, a little hard to carry every day, but if you're outside, maybe you got it on your bibs or something like that, or this could be a good everyday carry knife. If you're just gonna be going to the mall and stuff, probably a little too much in my opinion, but you know, heavy duty knife. That's a wrap on the ECURT test this week. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take the knife beyond the pocket.